So one of the things you're going to start to notice as you get into using some of these data science skills in your own job is that you're not going to have, I'm not going to be there to provide data for you like I did in the initial lectures, which show you how to use coding. So you're going to have to create your own data sets or find data that you're going to use for the process of like in this case, commissioning. And so a very useful type of platform or thing to understand is what's called a REST API or a RESTful web API. And this is simply, I just Googled REST API for you so that you could kind of see some of the resources that you can read about. One of them being, what is a REST API? It's a representational state transfer interface or protocol. But the thing that you need to understand, don't worry too much about the technical side right now if you're not an expert in it. The thing to understand about REST APIs is it's a socket. It's like a way to pull data out of some sort of system, usually through a web interface or through the web. So things like Facebook and Twitter and basically anything on the internet has different forms of REST APIs by which other entities can pull data and use that data for certain uses, and then can also send data back into the system as well. So APIs are what makes the web really work, and they're pretty standard, and there's a lot of ways that you can access REST APIs using Python. So Python REST API. So in fact, there are different types of libraries and tutorials about how to use Python for pulling data out of REST API systems. So in the building industry, I talked a little bit about commissioning already, and in the commissioning process, we want to take snapshots of data or pull data out of a system in order to understand if there are any faults or problems or functional requirements not being met in a building. So one of the most common systems in which data is pulled in the construction phase or in the commissioning phase is from what's called a building management system or building automation system. And here's an example. This is one of the potential types of systems on the market, the Metasys system from Johnson Controls. And it has various core technologies. It has its hardware and software platform, which is designed to take data from sensors, from heating, ventilation, air conditioning, lighting, basically apply some sort of control logic to that, and then modulate the different dampers or valves or pumps or different things in a system. And so the data that's contained in a building automation system like Metasys is very valuable to understand how the system's actually working. So one of the features that actually Metasys has actually come up with recently is a REST API documentation. And so you can follow this link and you can learn a little bit more about the API. They even have an interface here where you can learn about the different types of functions that you can interface with to gain authentication, to pull information about alarms, objects. You can pull data from the individual equipment, time series data, and you can do this using basically do it through a web API, but you can use Python to do that. So Metasys is one example. Another platform from a different company, from Siemens Building Technologies, is a platform called Desigo CC, and this is its sort of generic website. But you can also extract information from Desigo as well. And this is a GitHub repository of some Python scripts that I created in a project where I actually extracted data from a Siemens Desigo CC system here in Singapore and was using it to basically extract data and use it for various data science tasks. So there's REST APIs in all different kinds of software and platforms and systems, and understanding how to code will help you automate that process of data extraction before you get into using it for visualization and things like what you learned so far using the Pandas library.